I'm now going to go ahead and make 2 pages to go on the inside cover of the interactive pages that we're putting on this album. So for this you're going to need a sheet and a half of some pattern paper and a piece of cardstock that measures 12 by 6. Get that piece out of the way, so we'll just cut this down. Now I'm going to do a score line on this, but what I'm going to do first as well is I'm going to cut this down to 10 inches. So we've got a piece that's measuring 10 by 6 and a piece that's measuring 2 by 6. So we can make ourselves an extra pocket. I'm making 2 little pocket pages to go on the front and back covers, just to add some extra interest to the album, as it's all nice and interactive. So on the piece that's measuring 10 by 6, we now need to do a score line at 6 inches. So as I say, use the flat part of your score tool, flip it over and score both sides. And then on the piece that's measuring 2 by 6, on the 2-inch side, you need to do a score line at 1/4 of an inch. Well, rather than me trying to work over my hands, I'm going at 1.5 inches. But just do a score line at half an inch in on one end. So we just double score that. Okay, so that's those 2 now scored. And then what we're going to do, to fold that up, I'm going to fold this one up this way. So that's going to fold up that way, and then this little one is going to have a score line along there. I'm going to use my decorative punch again to make the pocket here, using the same punch that I've used all the way along. I'm not going to go right to the edge because I want to seal the edges, so I'm just going to bring it out a bit, but it just adds a bit more interest to the page really. So bring that along, and that's it, and I'll take another one. Just eyeballing this, but you can be a bit more careful and measure this when you do yours. So I think I'll need a bit more one on that end. Not much. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Just take that nick out of there. So I just need to cut that piece off. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to round the edges as well on this. You don't have to do any of this. This is just personal choice entirely. Okay, so that gives that a little bit more of a decorative finish for that. And then for this we're going to mat a piece on the back, so we're going to mat that before we actually stick down. So I've already gone ahead and cut mine. So this is measuring, there's my ruler, it's measuring 6 inches down, but I need to take that up a bit because I want to have a nice trim all the way around. So I'm going to go 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So I'll just take this other slither off the back here. So I'll just line that up in my paper trimmer. Okay, got a bit of tape on the back so I have it stuck down, and I forgot I was filming, so I'm going to just put some more tape on here now. And then we can get that stuck down. So let's bring that down to the bottom, and it just gives a nice rounded top on the page there, and that will lay flat up there like that. I'm going to put some double-sided tape on here. I'm not going for the really thin because we're just going to put a couple of tags in these pockets. So if you just put some double-sided tape on the 2 sides flaps, hasn't got to be ultra thin, but I wouldn't go necessarily for really thick. Actually, when I take this tape off, you'll see, because it's finger lift, there's a gap each side, so it's not 1/2 inch that it looks like. If you, I don't know if you quite bring that up on the camera in the light, but it's not the size of my tape. It's half the size of my tape. So if you buy the easy finger lift, it will be, but if you buy the cheaper range, it will be right the way across. Okay, that out of the way, and we're going to just lay this flat, so that then creates a little pocket for us for the front of the book. And then with this other piece here, I'm going to stick that on the bottom and create another little pocket, just because we can. So for this, I'm just going to round the edges off on this one. Okay, so just rounding those edges off, and I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the back here, because this is going to go around the back of the page, and then up both sides. So there again, I'm just using ordinary double-sided tape, because this is going to be on the back of the page, and it will be attached to the album when we put it all together in the next video. So I'm just putting a piece on each end. It's all sticking to me in this heat with the lights on. Right, okay, so we'll just stick that down. Now before I actually stick this down, I think I'm going to put a backing on here before we go ahead and get that stuck down. Now obviously you can save some paper, because we don't have to have it stuck all the way down. I'm just tidying these ends in of tape that I've got sticking out. So just leave that to one side for a minute, and I want to put some pattern paper on the back of here. So I've got a sheet of 12 by 12 here, but obviously I don't need to use the whole sheet. So I'm going to cut this down to 3 inches. And then, like before, I need to just take a tad off each side. If I had a pattern paper that went all the way across, this one's got a border both sides, that's why I'm taking a little piece off each side. If I had paper that went all the way across, I would just do it at 1/4 inch. So I'm just going to round the tops on here. So the other half of this paper will do for the pocket at the back. So I'm going to duplicate this on the back of the album as well. So that then just comes in like that for a bit more interest in the book. So get that stuck down. Pop that down. Bring it over a little bit more. It's quite nice having the green showing behind, because as I say, when we put the album together, you'll see with all the other pieces that the colour then matches all the way through. Now I'm going to attach this, so this is going to go before our score line, so just line that up, and I'm going to flap that over to create another pocket. I'm just going to burnish this one down to get a good stick, as we've got a fold on there. Don't worry too much about the back, because that is going to be stuck onto your cover. Okay, and then what I've done is I've made some tags to go in these pockets. Now the paper collection I had lots of these little tag elements inside, so I've cut some of them up and used them, and I've gone ahead and used my Cricut to make some tags. I've used the Georgian Basic Shapes cartridge, and I've cut it out on K on shadow, so you need to go K, shift, so you get the tag and it's shadow. The bigger size I've cut out on 4.5 inches, and the little one is cut out on 3 inches. So I've made 4 tags, 2 for each pocket, each page. So I've just used my eyelet crocodile and put some eyelets and some baker's twine. I've used the Martha Stewart, I think it's called Aqua, this one. So this is Aqua, just baker's twine round the top, just for making the tags. So that one's going to slide behind there. The 2 big ones are to go behind the top pockets. and then these two little ones can go behind there. So it just gives a little bit more interest to your page. Don't worry if you don't have a Cricut machine, you can't cut tags out. You can make your own tags using a piece of paper and just shape the ends. So it's quite easily to make your own tags. If you don't have a crocodile to make the holes, just use an ordinary hole punch to make your holes. That's easily done as well. You don't have to use baker's twine if you haven't got it. You can just use ribbon. If you didn't want to put eyelets through, you could just stick some buttons on the front there. That's another way of bringing more interest into your layouts. So that's the pocket, double pocket page that we're going to put on the inside and the both inside pockets, front and back, of our album. So I've made one with you, so you need to go ahead now and make a second, and then if you click on the next video, we'll bring all the pages together and join all the pages together to make the album. So I'll see you in a moment.